Hello, hi, welcome back to my channel. I didn't know where that enthusiasm came from because I'm quite tired right now. It's quite late. I trained a lot today, I worked as well, and I'm a little tired. But I hope you're doing good. I hope you're well. I hope your weeks has been good. So yeah, I couldn't upload last week because the video that I made, the audio of the video that I made was horrible, so I couldn't upload it in time and I didn't have the time. Anyways, so I had some technical issues and I couldn't upload a video last week, and today, so this is going to be some critiques about some modern movements, modern social or humane movements, you might say, because let me start from the beginning. Recently I started to read the book called Gender Trouble, and I'm quite enjoying the book right now, even though the language is quite heavy. I'm having quite a nice time, and when I was reading that book is also a critique about some modern humane or social movements, especially feminism, to be specific. And when I was reading that book, I wanted to talk about a little more about some things that I see missing in the current social movements. And the reason why this is an important issue, since we saw in US elections that right-wing and left-wing have been getting quite competitive towards each other, which is not a good thing in my opinion, but it's happening. And when those discussions were taking place, some of the arguments were based on the fact that the way that right-wing movements or persuasion has been improved since we saw in the results that they won, it also seems it has become quite successful in that sense. So at such a critical time in human history, I think it is quite safe to have such a discussion about the direction that we're taking with our social issues and the things that we do, we build with each other, for each other, to get all together, and how we can improve those things. I think these are quite important discussions for the time being. And the main idea of this video would be, I think we should not forget why we are supporting some of these social movements. By that, what I mean is, I think the last US election, which was, when was it? I forgot. Was it last year? It was last year, which was in 2024. Yes. I think we saw in that election, it was quite a nice example for this, because each side were quite eager to win, but then at the end, I feel like I'm not a US citizen. I mean as in humans. We lost some of the direction for the arguments that were made by each side, because yes, we were talking about some critical issues and important things, but at the end, the discussions were taking place because someone wanted to win something. It was not because someone wanted to solve something about the social structure and make it better. That was not the case. That was not the end goal in that time. And I think this problem I'm calling this a problem because it is a problem, because these structures we build, even the governments we build, are there to protect us and provide us some amenities so that we can thrive as human beings. But as of right now, they're not providing everyone, they're providing some selected groups, and that is a problem. And why is that a problem? Well, it is a problem because everyone should be well, and I feel like this shouldn't be a question or discussion, that we can aim for everyone's well-being, meanwhile getting some profits for ourselves as well. That's a human desire. I understand that, but what I do not understand and I don't want to support is taking other people's well-being away from them to have some leverage over some other people. I feel like that is a problem, and I think that we should solve that. I feel like I can go deeper into the why of this question, but I don't want to. That is not the aim of this video. Maybe I can talk about it in another video. I couldn't speak. In another video. I can't say that, apparently. So yeah, that is it for now. And the critiques that I want to make, the mainly are from the book, but like I said, that we saw in the last US election, that sometimes we lose our directions, and with some of the modern movements, I feel like we also have lost our directions. So I'm going to use the same example in a similar way, and I will talk about a little about feminism, and also I can include the sexual liberation movement, and I want to give an example and explain it later. So the book is discussing how the book was written in 1990, and it was pointing out the shortcomings of the feminism movement back in that time, and one of its arguments was that the feminism, I think we can say it still applies for feminism right now, but it was saying that feminism as a movement is in a way uplifting and supporting patriarchy, because it is at the end differentiating a different group called women, and it is talking about that group, and this approach at the end eventually benefits patriarchy and harms the group that is called women. And so one of its suggestions in this problem is that the way that feminism goes should be so radical that it is not uplifting patriarchy, it is building a new system. And I kind of agree in a way with this, but I don't think we have gotten the message quite well, because yes, we have problems with social structures and the social norms and how we interact with each other. We have problem in those areas of our lives, but I think we shouldn't forget that some people may want some different things from their lives. For example, in the feminism example, yes, we should support women's rights and their desires and their position in the society. Their rights and their rights to live is not a question, obviously, but the position that the women want to take in the social structure might not be the same for every woman. As a man, maybe I shouldn't be talking about this. I will be talking based on some of the examples from my friends. This may not apply to you, but this is kind of my point, because as a person that holds higher education, I have people surrounding me with higher education degrees. That was not a real sentence, but I think you get the point. People around me are smart as well. I just complimented myself. Anyways, I am surrounded by smart people, and sometimes they also say that they don't want to have this stressful lifestyle, and I would not be able to argue with them because it is quite stressful. But at the same time, some men also don't want to have this stressful lifestyle. So putting women on such a pedestal that we push them to become managers and higher ups on some corporation or some structure, some working structure, eventually puts some undesired pressure on that person at the end of the day, because that is still a person. Yes, we still have problems with workplaces for women and gender discrimination and other issues. I'm just only talking about women, but other genders also having major problems as well. But also those people can have different desires, and they might have a different thing that they want to do in their lives. And the movements that we have, I think, should support those that are different, or the movements should encompass everything, every human experience in a way, at least the majority of it. So in that way, it can, or we can, advocate towards a better future. Why is this important? Because the problems as humanity, ever since we stepped on this planet, has been mainly because of the pressure that we put on ourselves and on each other. And the main point in many of the arguments and discussions that took place recently are mainly about this problem. I feel like that the pressure we put on each other on this life, basically. And I don't think this is different between right wing and left wing. I feel like each side has its way of pressuring its opponents and its supporters as well. This at the end affects the experience of people that are involved, and if we can do what we want in a peaceful way, we will be happy. And people doing things that they like to do eventually builds a whole social system that supports each other. It would have, ideally, most of the critical roles in it to succeed as a civilization. And maybe higher ups could take a role in this setting so that they can put good depictions of every role that they can think about that there is, and they can put examples for people to look up to for things that they want to do, because many people have different desires and some people don't know what they want to do, and we can help each other towards that as well. This was my discussion has been mainly about work and jobs and like life purpose, but I feel like we can apply this to many other things. For example, diet. We have moved quite forward in this topic because veganism has been quite an important topic in the past and some years ago, but right now it isn't that important. Well, it is still important, but the sporting side and the is there an opposite side right now? I don't know, but the discussions have been a little milder. At least there is some understanding in the discussion that are taking place, because if we can accept that some people want to eat something and some things and don't want to eat some things out or some other things, then if we can accept it and we can let them have the things that they want to have, that person will be happy, and we will not have a discussion about it or an argument about it, and we will have a peaceful time as well. So we can help each other in these things. Diet example could be a little problematic, as it is also affecting the global climate. But still, in that sense, some people are arguing that we can produce meat ethically and sustainably, and we can also support them and help them find better ways to produce meat. Maybe, why not? If that is your cup of tea, why would you not do that? So that is my point of arguments, basically, towards most of the social movements. I feel like we should support each and every person that we can, and we should be accepting of each other. If the other person is not accepting of us, maybe we might not have the same kindness. Well, we can still be kind. We might not have the same understanding or empathy or sympathy, at least. But if most of the parties that are involved in this social structure or in this life on this planet, basically, if most of the parties are understanding, then we might probably have smoother discussions about the problems that we are facing, and that could mean that we can overcome those issues a little easier, hopefully, probably. So I hope that made sense what I said, and it is a privilege that you listen to my speech in my Barbell Girl t-shirt, and I hope you enjoyed that speech. If you did, please leave a like down below. If you did not, that's okay. If you want to say something or anything, you can leave a comment down below, and please be respectful. And if you want to, you can subscribe so that you can see my upcoming videos, and you can check my other videos up on my channel. And hopefully I will see you soon, probably next week, potentially, ideally next week. So bye for now.